Hey, Robin, do you like knocking boots?
Jim, do you mean Knocking Boots Saloon in Largo? I love Knocking Boots.
I love knocking back a couple of beers at Knocking Boots and then knocking some balls around on their pool tables.
Knocking Boots Saloon has free pool every day till 7:30, or you can join the league.
Or get knocked silly at the Comedy Open Mics, a special guest brought to you by Stand Up for live events every other Wednesday night.
Come and knock back a cocktail from their full liquor bar and enjoy some tasty snacks from their awesome food truck.
Knocking Boots Saloon, 201 King Road in Largo, Florida.
It's 7 o'clock. It's Thursday night. I'm Mac James, stand-up comic, and it's time for Stand Up for News. Welcome back, nation, to another episode of Stand Up for News. We are stand-up comics, and we tell the news. I am your host, Mac James, James Esterline. Here's my co-host. Say hello, Robin Macho Woman Savage.
Hello, everyone out there in Radio Land. It's an awesome to be back here on a Thursday.
And my other co-host here are the amazing Felix the Comic. Say hello, Felix.
It's the comic, not the cat.
Not the cat. All right, and our guest today, stand-up comedian Alex Mesa. Welcome to our show. You finally got here.
Yeah, so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You've been invited many times, but you work a lot. So
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
you're a
Yeah,
hustler.
I'm also a single mom, and my daughter's with my mom in Colombia. So I said, take the opportunity to get out there and grind. Yeah.
Nice. That's got to be fun. So what we do is we're stand-up comics and we tell the news, because I don't really like watching or hearing the news because they always say the setups, and they never say the punchline. And that's our job. We're here to stand up for the news, because the news can't just stand up for itself, because it was born without legs and it was born in a wheelchair, and so it has to have someone else stand up for him when the bullies come around. And so they call us here at 727-441-3000. That's 727-441-3000. Even TikTok land, you can call if you want to stand up for the news too. Because if a bully tries to take the news as lunch money, they call us, right, Felix?
Yes, sir.
No one would try taking your lunch money, right?
No,
I wouldn't.
nobody. No, none of that.
No one ever took mine either. Because I was poor. I didn't have
I
any
was
money.
going to say, the news also grew up poor. I couldn't even afford crutches.
No, man. He was born without crutches. So we usually start with a short interview with our guest comic, and I like to let Robin go ahead and start that. She's got great questions to ask you.
Oh, well, I guess just the basics. How long have you been doing comedy?
So I've been doing comedy for about 3 years, not consecutively. When I first started, I was, just grinding, going to open mics 2 or 3 times a week, and did my first feature within like 4 months.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, and I actually had a lot of material. So I grew up doing theater, so performing is very natural to me, and I grew up from like the age of 6. And I was classically trained, and so I moved to Florida at 13, and then I started doing improv. And once I did improv, I fell in love with the whole aspect of it. I never thought about doing comedy, but one day I was just wanting to get myself out of depression. I said, what would be better than just to go on stage and make a fool of myself, make others laugh. Laughter is medicine, and it's also addicting. It's so great just to get people, especially I feel like at this day and age, we need laughter.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So what was the very best set that you've ever had?
So I would say the best one I had, I was in Snappers, and it was a competition to win a opening spot for like a traveling comic. Mm-hmm. And I was against some heavy hitters, people that I respect in the industry, that I look up to. And I actually ended up 3-way tying with them.
Oh, that's incredible.
So that was it came down to.
Who was in the final?
So it was Jay Legend and
Awesome
Gordon
guy.
Dixon, really great.
Awesome
Yeah,
guy.
those are some heavy
Those are
hitters.
that was.
And then
I was impressed.
wow.
No, I was impressed because my joke.
Who was the host?
Ginger Kelly was
That's
the
what I thought.
host.
She was
She was an amazing
that.
host. So I got to open. So we each got an opening. And I got to open for Hillary Begley, and she was in a movie called Dumplings on Netflix with Jennifer Aniston. So
Nice.
That was a really good
Isn't that cute
movie. I
movie?
watched it with my mom or my daughter. Yeah, I watched it with my daughter.
So
Wow.
Can I ask questions now?
Sure.
My turn. Okay, who is your favorite comic growing up, and your influence as far as inspirational comedians that you grew up in? Maybe, I don't know, maybe some people don't have any, but who do you like if you don't like, or who do you like admirize?
So I grew up like in a very religious household, so I couldn't have a TV. So I would friends would show me comedies, and Mitch Hitchberg, right? Hitchberg, absolutely fell in love with him. He was so funny. I listened to Brian Regan because he does the clean comedy. So we were allowed to listen to that in my Christian household. And then after him, growing up, just watching movies like with Will Ferrell, Robin Williams, just really inspired me to do more of that like performance piece. Like to me, I like all aspects of comedy, not just telling jokes. I like performative comedy too, you know? So those were the ones that really inspired me. Here lately, I love Demetri Martin and Nikki Glaser. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's got a really good podcast I like to listen to.
Oh, really? I'm
sometimes.
going to have to check it out. Yeah, I've seen her twice. I got to meet her. I actually snuck in backstage with both of them to meet them. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sorry if you're
That's
listening.
what's
Thank
up.
you.
I would've
Thank you
done
for
the
letting me
same
just
thing.
sneak. Yeah, just as long as you have a wrist tag on, doesn't matter what it looks like.
Yeah.
They'll let you go in.
Yeah.
I have
Whatever
a
it takes.
question.
Yeah.
I have a
You try.
question. Have you ever bombed?
I have bombed a few times. I was the second time. So the first time I went to not the Needham Brewery. I forget the one that Matt Fernandez runs.
Oh, Devine.
The Vine, yes.
That's a hard one sometimes.
Yeah. Well, the first time I went there, I was doing great. And then halfway during my set, this guy just bust in. And
Oh,
he was
I
a
was
black
there.
guy. Were you there? Yeah.
I was
saw it.
there.
I've never been there before, so I didn't know if it was. Yeah. Well, listen, he was a black guy. He said,
What's that dude's name?
Is he too late or something like that? And I'm just on stage not knowing if this is how like they initiate new people. Like I didn't know what was going on. My reaction was to make a joke and be like, "Are we getting robbed?" I didn't say that because again, I've never been there before, so I didn't know how the crowd was.
Yeah.
So, but he literally just busted and interrupted my set. I'm not even lying, right? And then it was just very awkward. I kept on going. I did really well though. Like I finished my set really
Who
strong.
the heck was that goofball?
I
man?
forget. Oh, he goes by Stupid. Big Stupid,
rule,
yeah.
There-
But then the second time I went, I had high hopes because I was like, hey, I'm not going to get interrupted this time. No, bombed. Bombed the second time. Didn't matter if I was interrupted or not.
But I think that's just part of comedy. I mean, sometimes even
You're
though you
gonna
hate
bomb,
it, you gotta
everybody's gonna
bomb.
bomb.
It's part. It's a number. So I work in
happening.
sales, and it's a numbers.
It's inevitable.
Comedy is
That's all
hard.
it is.
I'm
It's
starting
part
to
of it.
realize
If you
this.
don't bomb and you think you didn't bomb, then you're not.
You're not
mentally-
doing your job well.
You're not mentally upstairs okay. Because I know a guy who thinks he's never bombed. I'm like, I've literally watched you bomb twice at least, and he's like, no. I'm like, yeah, huh?
Nah,
So
it's
everybody's
everybody's from
bombing.
being bombed
It's
and getting
gonna happen.
tomatoes thrown at you.
Right.
I've done one of the greatest sets ever at LOL Laugh Out Lounge. Immediately go to another mic where there's a heckler they allowed on stage before I got to go up. And you think I did well after that?
It's like the Wild Wild West
No,
of
I
comedy.
tore him up
Yeah.
real quick and I got off stage because it wasn't going to go well. It was a bomb from the
Yeah.
beginning.
When they just
So
let
a
whatever
few of the
happen.
things everybody was still bickering between the comics on the floor, the people on the floor that were guests, and the heckler guy they let on stage. Still going on while I'm trying to perform. No one's listening to me.
Why did they let a heckler go on stage?
So literally, I don't know, because the host is ignorant, I guess. It was one of the most silly things. So yeah, literally me and Manny both killed it at LOL. And then great sets. And then 15 minutes later, we're both 15, 20 minutes later, we're down the road. We're both, everybody was, because this heckler was just going. The host didn't know what to do, you know.
It's
So-
a rite of passage. I
gonna
remember
happen,
I was very fortunate. I performed many open mics without bombing. And I was, you almost do get a sense of like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to bomb. I'm not going to bomb. And then when it does happen, it's very humbling because you're like, I'm part of the club now. I hear, you're supposed to bomb. Like, that's part of the, learning process. And I'm like, this is great. Like, so now I don't care if I bomb or hit.
Yeah.
I'm going to laugh at my jokes. I know someone's laughing. If not, they're laughing on the ride home. Sometimes it lands a little too late.
People that think they don't bomb in their mind are delusional and need medication probably because it's happened and they just don't want to accept that it did. Or,
Yeah.
You know
They're
what I
in
mean? Because
denial.
I know people like them. Like, I've seen it happen. You can't say this didn't happen. No one laughed.
Yeah.
One more question. Do you have like any inspiration to pass to the people that's like really like die hard to the comedy?
Okay, so yeah, that's actually a good question. I was thinking about that. I think we telepath because I was like, what would I tell people? Write. If you're not into writing, get a recorder, record your jokes because I feel like there's humor in everything. Like, and in anything that's happening, you could find, punchline or some way to make it humorous. And that's really what it is, and you have an audience for everybody. There's an audience for everyone. Like, I feel like a lot of my stuff is a lot more like suggestive or dirty. And at first it was hard for me to get like bookings, but then once I, just was confident in it, the booker's called. So
Yeah.
That's
And then you take a hiatus from
and
us.
then I was like,
where's
okay,
she
I'm
going?
good. You gotta
For what, a
retire when
year?
you're on
You
top.
took a time out?
I took a year. Yeah, I took a time out almost for a year, and then I came back here and there, sprinkled different places. And I did a lot of hosting now, and I love to host because I think there's an improv element to that too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just being on stage and helping recover. Keep the vibe. I love that. I should have been a DJ because I love keeping the vibe.
Yeah.
I took 3 months off once, and I couldn't stand 1 second of it. But that's because you get the itch to get back up there and try the new stuff that you come up with, So I was going to ask you, I was in a foster care home, and before that, I was in a home full of religious garbage. I mean, not whatever you want to consider it. Over the top, though,
Yeah, I was
So how religious are you
Pentecostal.
now?
So I would consider myself, I definitely believe in a higher power. I don't hold the same beliefs that I did growing up. But I definitely believe we're not here by accident. We have a purpose.
I think so, too. I think what the over the top, the overkill of religion that I had to deal with, it backfired on them because now I'm opposed to, organized religion completely. Oh, completely.
There's a time and place for everything, but I think when you try to control people, that's when you shouldn't.
Did the religion influence your material, though?
So I do have some jokes from funny things that happened back then, because if you know anything with Pentecostal, they're called holy rollers and stuff, so it's like things like I grew up, people running around church speaking in tongues, I couldn't wear pants, couldn't wear
before with a
No,
Bible
I
paper.
think
That's a holy
that
roller.
scares you. That really scares you.
Just the beginning inserts where there's nothing on them, nothing.
No.
I took out the parts I didn't
I
like
did a
before.
dictionary though.
A
did that.
dictionary paper that works too.
The similar kind.
I will try that. So
I'm
then,
too scared of God.
I write material about the religion. He's in all of us, though. So we're all a little bit of God. If it's
That's what the Bible says. Right? We're made in His image.
I've learned them. I've learned a lot of religion stuff. Go ahead, Felix.
Excuse me, Alexis. Quick question. Have you ever, and it's not to sound weird, but have you ever stand up and in church, when a minister or the preacher might be up, or if y'all doing a ceremony or something, what's going on in church? Do you happen to they called you up and did a prayer or something and just blurted out something?
I don't know. I know. So I grew up in a Spanish church.
Okay.
And I remember one time they wanted to do testimonies, and so I'm bilingual, but my mom never taught me proper Spanish. So I was like, you know what? I'm excited about Jesus in my life. So I stood up and I was like, I want to give a testimony. I said, I'm excited for Jesus in my life. But in Spanish, I said, soy excitada por Jesús. And I was waiting for normally people say hallelujah, man. I'm waiting for people to happen. But it didn't happen. And I was probably 8 or 9 years old. And I'm soy excitada for Jesús. Finally, the pastor's sit down. And then on the car ride home, my mom was what were you trying to say? And I'm I'm excited. I'm happy for Jesus. She's oh, excitada means something else. She's the word is emocional. So excitada means, I don't know if I could say it, but when you're ready to go. So basically, I was saying I was ready to go for Jesus.
You're frisky for Jesus.
I was frisky for Jesus. There you go. Yeah, that's basically.
One clapped for that?
Yeah. No one clapped for that.
That is one.
So that's what I'm saying. There's humor in everything. So my life has
You
been a
probably
joke.
said the first time, and they were hopefully she won't say it again. Then
Yeah, and I said,
they're stop.
Yeah, they're it's okay, sister, sit down, sit down.
That's almost I would trade places with you with my awkward.
Yeah, I was why are they happy? Because I love Jesus.
We'll give her a whistle too. Joke of the day whistle.
It should be on a shirt. So
Tell
I
me, would you trade that for going out with your friends and doing a bunch of LSD, and then winding up at your second foster parents' home in their house, sleeping when they woke you up? They said, you snuck in here last night. We're going to church now. And then you had to go to church still on LSD. Would you trade that for that?
I've had similar experience. It wasn't LSD. It was Adderall, actually. I stayed up all night.
I would trade, I think. I would say I'm frisky for Jesus in front of everybody over having to do that again.
I think so, too,
Because in the middle of it, the preacher was a guest preacher. He's is there anybody that wants to come forward? And people would go forward, and we're all going to pray for them. And Jesus is going to be led into their hearts. And, his blood's going to cleanse their souls. And then I'm just standing there minding my business. Once this is over, I get a ride home. And then... I didn't live at that foster home anymore. I snuck into that home. And then he walks up. He's like, can you go with me and we can talk? And I think you need Jesus. And so right in front of everybody, it was almost as embarrassing as saying I'm frisky for Jesus, maybe. So I went with him, but then I snuck out and walked home the rest of the way.
Well, that wasn't the only embarrassing part because I was like 8 or 9 years old. My mom also had explained what meaning frisky meant. I didn't know that.
So it was a double
whammy for me.
So you didn't even really, you didn't.
She's like, you know, when our dog and the other dog.
Sometimes when people really love each other, little Alex.
Yeah. Fifi gets a hold of the
I was
teddy
traumatized
bear.
to say that. I never stood up for testimony again in church.
Well, how do you say excited in Spanish properly?
Emocionada.
Emocionada.
Emocionada. Which is like emotional, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Emocionada, yeah. Oh, okay. Excitada is the other stuff. Okay. Not excited. Well, I guess a little too excited, yeah.
Speaking of that word, and I'm not going to try to say, our guest here, our other guest, our music director, our co-host, Christopher Wright came in, and I didn't get to introduce him yet. I wanted to keep the flow going. Welcome back, Christopher Wright.
Thank you.
You know Chris, right?
I know. I love and know Chris because
we're rainbow babies.
We're both rainbow babies.
Right.
Yes.
And it's not just because
exactly
we're both gay or like bisexual. No, it's not that.
I want to taste the rainbow, you know. That's why I brought my skills.
I mean, that's the first thing everyone thinks because like it's like, oh, rainbow baby. It's like, oh, I ended up gay, and it's like, well, no, it's the first child born after a miscarriage.
Is there a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow? Huh?
Chris is frisky for rainbows.
That's the seat.
Oh, James.
She
Proof or
inspired me
did
to
it
think of
happen?
those other times
It's okay.
for her rainbow baby jokes.
It's okay. Everyone's gay for Pride Month.
She
It's
had me
okay.
thinking about rainbow baby jokes for like hours that night.
James even brought his Skittles for Pride Month.
Look at that. Now sponsored by Skittles.
You gotta taste that rainbow, Chris. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Hey, what are you doing?
Traditional
All
rainbow.
right. So, all right. Well, now we get to the important part of everybody. You brought some news to stand up for, Alex?
Yes, I did.
Because the news can't stand up for itself. You know why, Chris?
He was born in a wheelchair and wasn't able to stand, so we got to stand up
your
for it.
Skittles there, bud.
You asked
That's what
me.
happens when you shove
You asked me in
a
the-
rainbow right down your throat like that on the radio. All right, yeah, that's right. The news can't stand up for its own self because it was born in a wheelchair, you know? Look at my socks today, bud.
Oh, dude.
Got my Trailer Park Boys socks on.
Nice. I have my. I totally have my Rick Scott socks on today too.
They're Skeletor socks.
That's okay.
why I
I'm
said
more,
Rick Scott.
and I'm more impressed by the shirt he's wearing. Nobody ever wears that kind of a T-shirt anymore, and it's
That
awesome.
is cool.
Oh,
It's a Wayne's World T-shirt.
Wayne's World party time.
Wayne's World.
I only have one
the
thing,
smaller one.
and just for that shirt, I only have one thing to say.
Bag of t-shirts that was in a van that we got these t-shirts out of. So
But I gotta say though, was it a van down by the river?
basically, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what happened. There was
Da 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 da.
I'm not the
Swing.
producer for you guys. Don't quit your day job. Oh, that's your line. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I quit my day job, you wouldn't have a show.
Oh, I don't have a show after this week anyway. All right, this week scientists revealed that a crater that's 200 acres wide and 300 feet deep is growing. The Batagayko crater in Siberia is also known as Gateway to Hell, is growing inches every day. Did you hear that? It's getting bigger and bigger.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, now it's also going to be known as James's X. Well, did you know that if my ex had a nickname after like one of those geysers out there in those national forests, her nickname would be Old Unfaithful. Yes, and like Old Faithful, she'd have a 75-foot deep hole that erupts, and it's 5 feet in diameter. It erupts every 45 minutes, a bunch of toxic fumes. Thank you, Chris. Over to you with some breaking news, Robin Savage.
Hulk Hogan has launched a new beverage called Real American Beer. It's brewed 100% in North America, and it's enjoyed by Hogan's son, who he also calls Real American Disappointment.
Over to you, Felix, the comic.
Well, Ron DeSantis. I don't know if this is going to be funny or however y'all might take it, though, but I'm starting to think Ron DeSantis don't like black people.
Really?
Why?
Ask me,
I
yeah,
didn't like Disney characters.
He is.
ask me what's the no shade law. I'll tell you what the no shade law is. The DeSantis done signed the bill to ban counties from mandating from water breaks for outside workers. Now, just hear me out. You know, I was at work and I was by the water cooler and I'm like, you know, I was like, DeSantis, master, if it's okay, can I get some water, sir? I'm down thirsty. I'm ears thirsty.
Start your water break yet, bud.
Look, all I'm saying is, though, I mean, even, you know, it's out there, and I'm just saying, though, you know, there are hardworking people out there. They're keeping food and vegetables and water, you know, in the field. You know, if they're working in the field, man, let the people get a water break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a human right.
Is it just the fields now, like construction workers too, and anybody that works
highway
outdoors?
workers, they all need.
Well, I mean, I thought it was more like
Sounds
for
pretty
the farmers and
You gotta tell them when they can have a drink break.
Hey, I mean, I guess it's gonna be like that, but see, I'm gonna take mine. I'm gonna at least get 10, 15 minutes. I ain't finna.
I worked in the muck fields in Michigan, right, with a bunch of immigrants. They're here to work. They had all their passes. They're allowed to be here to work. Yeah, and they just brought their own beer. We didn't have water breaks, man.
That is their water.
I was like 12 years old, and I was cutting gourds and cutting my finger, filling up buckets up in the muck fields in Michigan. You remember those?
Muck fields in Michigan? Yeah.
Yeah, we were pulling gourds. I used to bale hay up there, too.
What about food service workers? I just spent last weekend in Brooksville at Watermelon Festival, and it was 102 degrees outside. We spent all day, like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., just outside roasting in the heat, and that was unbelievable. I even mentioned that to my partner. I was like, hey, imagine having a law that says you can't make a law saying it's okay to have a water break. And she's like, what are you talking about?
Are they just trying to delegate when they can have water breaks? Or?
I don't know, but if I knew if I didn't have like nearly those 12 or 16 bottles of water I drank, I would not be here right now. So,
I mean, I'm not saying everybody should have a water break. Like if you're working in the manufacturing or outside or construction or something like that, a 10 or 15 minutes, you know,
Jesus,
just on the side. I mean, just,
I have,
you know,
right,
I'm curious, why do kids drink so much water nowadays as compared to growing up? Like when they go to school, they have to have a huge water.
Everybody has to have water.
Water's good for you. Water's good for you.
Yeah, but like we didn't drink that much. Like I feel like it's pushed on. Like drink your water. You got to drink it now. Make sure it's filled.
Well, see, when we was coming up, we had like Kool-Aid. You know,
or we had the fountains at school. We just like a little sip.
The juice pouches.
We were good for the whole day.
I grew up in the 80s. We didn't have anything. Like the hose that was in there, the closest house you could get to.
That was it.
Sneak behind your neighbor's house and use their hose.
We're probably overcorrecting for like us growing up drinking like a 12-pack of soda a day, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, no, drink water. You can only drink water.
Yeah, water's good for you though. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. I remember my mother yelling and being like, you guys are thirsty. I do not want you drinking milk. And we're like, well, I guess we'll drink Pepsi. Like, water wasn't the option.
Milk
or Pepsi. Yeah. Just growing up in the 80s.
We had the hose out back because we didn't get to have milk or Pepsi.
Sounds like Michigan.
Yeah. You get RC Cola if you're lucky, or a Fago. If you can
Cola.
Take back 3 or 4 pop cans and return them for the deposit, you might be able to get a Fago.
Mm-hmm. About a good old Verner's.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite. I don't like enjoy ginger ale, but that's my favorite ginger ale.
Absolute best ginger ale.
Let's get back to the news, though, you guys. It's Alex. It's your first time here to tell a news. Stand up for the news story. You want to hear it? Let's fire away.
All right. So thanks to Elon Musk's Starlink, a remote village in Brazil has access to internet services for the last year. The Marubo tribe, located in the Amazon rainforest, has benefited greatly during emergencies, shortening medical response times. You know, it's nice to know that this indigenous tribe is being introduced to modern advances. I am curious as to what kind of pop-up ads they might receive while searching the web. Find your Tarzan or Jan with our tribe-friendly dating app. Swipe your jungle vines on local hotties. Who knows? You could go cocoa notes in your cocoa huts. Tired of mosquitoes entering your tent? Dirt being on your floor? Call us now at 1-800-NATURE in Nature. But
actually, they're allowed to have water breaks in the rainforest. You know, it's just literally dropping on you all the time.
Right.
All right. A fatal alligator attack of a Pinellas County woman. In this fatal alligator attack, it was determined today that foul play was finally ruled out. Actually, yeah. Did they think that the alligator identified as a duck? Hey, I guess it was a gator, not a duck. And it says, whoever thought it was a duck, that guy's on quack. Get it, foul play? Over to you, Robin Savage.
Okay, a well-known evangelical pastor stepped down this week at his megachurch in Dallas. He claimed it was due to an unnamed sin. Stand Up for News religious scandal reporter reached out to the 7 deadly sins for comment. Pride and wrath couldn't be reached, although rumors are swirling around greed and lust.
All sins are created equal in the eyes of the giant congregation of 20,000.
He said it was an unnamed sin, and I'm pretty sure it was either greed or lust. I don't.
Which guy? And I mean, who was the pastor?
I'm not up on all the. It just said he was a religious guy from Dallas,
Megachurch
evangelical
guy?
Preacher. Yeah,
Huh.
Evangelical preacher.
I don't care that much anyway. Go ahead, Felix. You had a question?
No, I was saying that preacher might have been somebody familiar. You know, we don't know. Might have been Joel Osteen.
That's what I mean. Was it Osteen?
No, I think because it's Dallas, and I think Osteen's from Houston.
How many mega churches they got on there? Not for everybody.
They love Jesus in Texas.
Goodness. I mean, Jesus is great. I'm not saying anything bad.
It wasn't Osteen. If it was Osteen, I would.
Like Chris Rock said, does God not have enough money or something? Why is God poor?
But that's why I be saying when it's hot outside, man, from all the way maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know how it feels out in Clearwater, but I know in Tampa when it gets hot, man, I'll be
unbearable.
Well, I be saying it be so damn hot out there, boy. If hell anything like that heat, I better get y'all life right with God.
I grew up where it's really, really cold, so I'll trade that for any day of the week, man.
See, you like that? You come outside.
I like the hot. Don't like the cold though.
I can't deal with that cold.
I delivered sheetrock up there in Michigan for like 7 years in the cold, and it's the most horrible thing you've ever. A negative 87 degrees out due to the wind chill up in Detroit once. I was stocking a hotel from the bottom to the top, a Holiday Inn Express, and the wind was blowing like 50 miles an hour over the water. Yeah. And there was no insulation or windows in the whole building.
Well, you up there freezing your.
Yep.
Skateboarding cat breaks speed record in China.
What?
Yeah, now I want to know what in the heck and who taught this cat how to skateboard?
Well,
Tony Hawk?
Well, I think I got an answer for you. Your man on the street, Scott Patrick. He's on the phone right now.
Cool. Nice. It was probably that cat from that Paul Abdul video. He seemed pretty cool, pretty hip.
Scat Cat?
Yeah.
The one from the Paul Abdul video.
Yeah, what is his name? Scat Cat?
2 steps forward, 2 steps back. He could probably skateboard pretty good.
Yep.
Hey, Scott Patrick, man on the street. What's up, my bud?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What street are you on today anyway? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually in Great Britain right now.
Whoa.
At Anfield Stadium because it's National Albino Day and Taylor Swift's having a concert here. It's actually on Lime Street. But it would be better if she actually had some coconuts to mix them all around.
Hey, I have a question for you.
All right.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt though, but how did you train this cat how to skateboard? I mean, like,
how did I train a skateboard? How the cat to skateboard?
Yes.
Oh, Felix needs to finish it. Yeah. He said that some cat broke a speed record, right? You said?
Yes. In China.
In China. Is this the guy that broke?
Oh, no, this is Scott Patrick, man on the street.
No. The man on the street, Scott Patrick.
Yeah.
Scott Patrick.
No, the skateboarding cat is actually he got the speed record because he knows that in China they're called the chicken of the CCP.
All right.
That one was off the top. I like that one.
Alex Mace is here. She's like, that's Scott. That's our Scott. Yeah.
Oh, Scott.
Patrick.
He's our man on the street. So he goes out all over the world and he finds places to report from every week. And right now he's in Great Britain. So what's so great about Britain anyway? You know.
Well, I think that she was just trying to get out of St. Louis because it has the most barbecue restaurants per capita, and it's not good when you have chicken legs like her.
Yeah, that chicken must be good if she's seasoning.
All right. Am I the only one that caught that? What else we got, Scott?
Well, in Philly, someone hung meats and cheeses up on a telephone pole, and they're claiming that it was greased. It's been up there for a month, and turns out it wasn't greased by anybody in general. It was just the homeless people trying to climb up it.
They grease the poles in case people try to celebrate up there or something, right?
Yeah.
And climb the poles. In Philly's
But there was a loose monkey that was seen in Illinois. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Yeah, it was a loose monkey, and police are really unsure if it was loose before it actually escaped.
Hey, I found this one. Hunter Biden was found guilty on all counts of the gun case. Did you hear about that?
Mhm.
If his gun weren't a case in the first place, he wouldn't be in this mess. A hunter guilty of having a gun, that's like Robin Savage here being accused of owning a curling iron. You don't curl that yourself, right?
No, it
good.
just
If you did, then the joke
comes
backfires.
out insane every morning.
All right, what you got?
I heard that it was actually happy, like, to meet the prosecutor because he really cracked the case.
Robin, where you at?
Okay, a boy in West Virginia was awarded perfect attendance throughout his education from K through 12. He reportedly went to elementary school and spread H1N1. Then later, when his school was opened back from COVID, he got sick and still intermingled with all the other students. He graduated 10th in his class, but he is called patient 0.
Felix, go ahead.
A woman stopping for an energy drink. And I did this now, y'all. This lady stopped in the store and got a lottery ticket and won $1 million worth of prizes.
Nice.
Now I was wondering, I'm like, damn, what ticket did she play? Because that blessing sounds real good. $1 million?
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen, if I had $1 million, man, I mean, if I would have won that $1 million, I probably would have opened up a strip club for a whole bunch of midgets. Only midgets. And name it like Tater Thoughts.
Tater Thoughts.
But what would you do if you had $1 million? I mean, that's the question. What would you do, Alexis?
Disappear. You wouldn't see me again. Goodbye. I'll be in the tribe in the Amazon, enjoying Elon Musk Starlink.
You get some free internet.
Yeah. I don't know. James might go down to the Titanic,
I don't do that.
I'm gonna do it.
Scott Patrick, go ahead, and then Alex will follow you.
All right. Firefighters in Washington went to a scene when they were called because a cat got his head stuck in the rim of a car, a tire. Yeah, and it's really kind of BS because they didn't come to my house when I called for a rim job.
I would have been there, right, Chris? On the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Double on the spot guy. Alex, go ahead.
All right. A new study suggests that polar bears could go extinct as early as the 2030s due to the decline of sea ice that helps them hunt for food. Stepping in for polar bears will be solar bears. They'll be all about soaking up the sun, chilling on beaches, and organizing picnics collected from trash instead of hunting seals. Solar bears.
I would go for a solar bear.
What's up? Oh my God.
Just chilling on the beach.
Solar bears.
Yeah, because polar bears are not going to be extinct soon.
That's
Solar
terrible.
bears sound kind of sexy. I don't
That's
know.
terrible.
They're all about
There we go. We
fashion.
got kicked off alive or something.
Oh no.
Oh, they got offended by solar bears?
I
I
guess.
think so. Yeah, solar bears.
All right.
Oh, dang it. Can't talk about anything going extinct. It was a global
Way to
warming.
go,
We can't
Alex.
talk about global warming. Sorry.
4 teachers from the U.S. A U.S. college. They wanted to have it. It was Cornell. 4 teachers from. I had to do research to find that out. They were from the U.S. College of Cornell. They were stabbed in China at a park.
Oh.
They were labeled ambassadors for the Cornell University, but most labels say "Made in China," not "Slayed in China."
Hmm.
that happened.
Okay. So a woman in upstate New York sued Cold Stone Creamery for pistachio ice cream that didn't contain pistachios. Yeah. So the ice cream company is now fighting back, claiming it was only advertised as pistachio flavored ice cream. Cold Stone Creamery also added that their ice cream is actually ice cream flavored slurry. So that's not a whole lot of anything at Cold Stone Creamery.
2 camels down there escaped the petting zoo in Ohio. And Cedar Point. I have really too much to say about that. Like, what a hump they were going, I mean, it must have been a hump day for them. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that though? You somewhere in your everyday life, going to the store or going to get some gas, and you just see 2, homos, and they walking by and they got their hump bumping.
Did you see the video? The thing, one of them was attacking people.
Oh,
yeah, it was going to try to bite people. Yeah.
No, see right there.
But at least we know that they don't have to stop for water breaks.
Call back. All right, Scott Patrick.
Okay, so archaeologists, I can't say it. God damn it. Archaeologists, you know what it is, say it.
Archaeologists?
Take your time.
Archaeologists, there you go. They believe they uncovered the tomb of Santa Claus.
The tomb of Santa?
Yeah, they said that they found the tomb. They believe it's him, but I heard that they believe it's him because he was found holding his huge sack. But given how big his junk was, it made sense why he slayed so many boxes around the world.
Nice.
I like the idea of like woke Santa, like they're diversifying Santa. And I'm like, let's not just stop there. Let's just give him an eating disorder too, right? Sorry, maybe he might have breast cancer.
The original Santa Claus is from Turkey. The St. Nicholas that St. Nick and Santa's based on, he's from Turkey. And he got his sainthood by rescuing 3 prostitutes from slavery. That's where they got the ho, ho, ho from.
He was calling them.
I did a lot of study on this because I did a roast of Santa Claus this past Christmas. Yeah, so this next joke I'm going to tell in St. Nicholas is his original tongue, because he's from Turkey. It goes like this, Robin. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble.
That's beautiful.
You get it?
Yeah.
Good. There's more. I go ahead, Rob.
Did I?
Okay,
go ahead,
yeah.
Alex. Whose turn is it?
Did you guys hear about this invasive species of monkeys in Florida? It's called the rhesus monkeys. They're these monkeys. They're excellent swimmers, and they eat over 50 species of native plants, as well as birds, eggs, and small animals and other fish. Another threat these small and cute little monkeys pose is that they carry a deadly strain of herpes. Yeah, a spokesperson for the monkey said, when in Florida, do as a Floridian. So now we fish and have STDs.
Do the monkeys live at the villages?
They actually do live at the villages.
The original band, the Monkeys, there's only a couple of them left. They live there. 2 guys were arrested on video after they were caught on video and arrested for premeditated pickpocketing of elderly people, you guys, up in Jacksonville. They stole an astonishing $958,000 worth of Werther's Originals hard candy caramels.
Those are good.
The old folks love the Werthers. They love the Werthers.
I love Werther's.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. The Supreme Court unanimously ruled against outlawing the abortion pill. Supreme Court Justice and light beer lover Brett Kavanaugh said the plaintiffs present their concerns and the plaintiffs need to present their concerns and objections to the president or the FDA. But for the love of God, quit asking us to make the big decisions. So, way to go, Supreme Court! You actually did something that wasn't.
You gonna play us a song today, Chris?
Sure.
You got your guitar. Are you gonna play some music? You gonna do some gay news or no?
We can do a little gay news.
Let's hear it. It's time for your gay news. Stand up for gay news.
Exactly. It's time to stand up for a little gay news with a segment called Your Gay News. So See, it's a play on words, James. You understand, right? So, so yeah, I only have a little bit of gay news to stand up for tonight, but I'll start off with the bad news. So, James, we've talked about this before. You know how there's fewer and fewer lesbian bars here in the country, right? I think last I checked, it was 21. I think is what it was.
2 of them,
right?
Now there's only one of those 2 left.
Yeah, unfortunately, that number has dwindled now, I think, to 20. There's one fewer because the only lesbian bar in Tampa Bay in Largo just closed not that long ago. Literally just closed. They were what was it? The only lesbian bar, maybe dead. But the dyke scene lives on. That's a direct quote, by the way. The ladies' room in Largo, which claimed to be Florida's only lesbian bar, is gone. That's done. So they're setting up a pop-up at different locations to try to keep the lesbian bar scene going, even though we are now unfortunately out of lesbian bars in the Tampa Bay. What do you want to say?
Oh, don't worry though, ladies. There's still plenty of places to eat out.
Oh man! Wait.
But yeah, there was that one and the Jazzy Cat was a lesbian bar. I performed at both of them. We had the Orlando Invasion 1 year ago on the 19th.
Oh,
At
the Jazzy Cat. I just thought that was just a regular place.
But on a lighter note,
all the ladies are so friendly to me.
Well, they're all her age.
We're all best friends now.
right? Oh, I just lost it. And then on a lighter note, tonight over in Tampa is the final night at the Seminole Hard Rock for my big gay Italian wedding. I mentioned that last week. It's a fantastic show that looks like it was going to be a really good time. It starts at 8 o'clock. So if you aren't there in the next 13 minutes, you're going to miss the first half of the show. So, get your butts over there if you're interested in seeing a really interesting sort of modern take on what it means to be a gay Italian American trying to break out of social norms and stuff like that. So, yeah, right? Hey, it's a real thing. It's things we got to be aware of. So, yeah, with that being said, though, let's play a little song. Real quick, guys.
And then we'll get to history after that, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do a little history and then nothing but plugs, right? If I'm not mistaken.
We've covered everything but plugs.
All right, well, let's play something here. Oh my goodness, how's about we play something original today? Since I don't usually do that too often. Something I wrote a while back with a little friend of mine called "Ride High." Cruising is fine with me. I don't got no place to be too quickly. Yeah, I got my destiny, but I'm in no rush. No hurries, no worries, I'd rather ride high. Soak up the sky, I'd rather feel fine. Just give me one reason why. So just drive. Superstitions ain't for me. I don't stress myself out with all the possibilities. Everybody seems to me to be all in some huge rush. So hurried, so worried, we'd rather ride high. Soak up the vibe, I'd rather feel fine. Just give me one reason. Rather waste a minute of my life than waste my life in a minute. They're saying that I'm on a dead-end road, but this highway's just the beginning. Whoa, whoa. I'd rather ride high. Soak up the sky. I'd rather feel fine. Just give me one reason why. So just drive.
love hearing you play.
And now I am your weatherman today, Mac James, and I am about to do the weather. I am not sure whether or not a baby seal poacher's favorite drink is actually club soda.
Oh my God.
That's our weather. Unless anybody else has weather. Not sure whether or not we have any more weather.
Let me see. Can I
I do
turn
have
one?
history though.
Let me try to turn this one into a weather joke.
Oh.
In Indiana, a woman was caught with 61 pounds of cocaine in her luggage. On top of being arrested, they had to decide whether or not she should be charged for having a bag over 50 pounds.
I like that one.
How many kilos is that? Dang it.
60 pounds.
Metric system.
50 pounds is about 24.
Look at this guy. He knows his metrics.
All right. Today in Laughs from the Past, our history, news history, stand for news and history. In 2000 on this day, the year 2000, North Korea leader Kim Jong-un met with, the second, maybe, I don't know, met with South Korean leader Kim Dae-jo's for the first time, marking the first meeting between the leaders of these countries ever. And they said it was going to be Kim Possible.
Oh my God.
Your Korean is beautiful. That's it.
Right.
Today in 2005, you guys, speaking of Korean, Michael Jackson was acquitted for all his child molestation charges.
Oh, wow.
I guess he didn't do it. And now over to you, Robin Savage.
Today in history, June 13th, 1967, Thurgood Marshall was the first black man to be nominated to the Supreme Court. Most people think of him as a good man, but some people think of him as mad to the bone. Because I always get Thurgood Marshall and
George Thurgood.
George Thurgood.
Thurgood for that one.
I'm like, Thurgood Marshall, all right, I loved his stuff.
That was thoroughly good.
Okay. I actually also, so on June 13th, 2005, a jury in let me start over again. On June 13, 2005, a jury in Santa Maria, California, acquitted Michael Jackson of molesting charges. At the time, a spokesperson for MJ stated, "We had a strong defense, baseless accusation, and a defendant that with the help of vitiligo turned himself white, and we were able to beat these charges."
Nice.
MJ released a statement after the verdict, and I quote, "Just beat it. Just beat it."
Nice.
You know, y'all always Michael Jackson fans at
I
once
love
upon a
him.
time.
I love him to this
Y'all
day.
cannot sit up here and, talk about Michael like that
He
and
beat
not
the
being a
charges.
fan, And I'm pretty sure, James, you was at the Neverland house.
I was never at the Neverland house.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
I heard
it
he
wasn't
stuck
nothing
in.
wrong with it. I heard his house was nice, man. He had a giraffe thing.
During the
like a zoo.
pandemic, I wasn't there. Because it was a Peter pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
In Neverland.
Everybody running around wearing
I've
tights.
never been a Michael Jackson fan. But I don't think he did it either, But I still wouldn't let him watch my kids either. And they're adults.
Man.
And plus, he's not alive to watch him anymore. That's all the basis of that. I don't know. I wasn't there, but
I don't know,
he missed his childhood because he didn't have one. He hated his father, so he made himself look like someone he admired, which was, what's her name?
Diana?
No,
someone else. No. Liz, no, I can't remember her name. But he did. He made himself look like someone that was definitely not the man that he looked in the mirror and was almost looked exactly like his dad.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, he looked like his father, and he didn't want to look like his father because the man abused him. So he didn't want to look like him. But still, he didn't have his childhood, so he wanted to hang out and help little kids. Maybe that was where he shouldn't have done that because they used it against him. And then they paid some guy to kill him or something, his doctor maybe. These are all conspiracies. None of these things maybe really happened. He was acquitted. He didn't do it. He lost one of his gloves, and then OJ found it or something. I don't know what happened.
Oh my God.
The only
It didn't
disturbing
fit.
thing
He had
about
to
me
quit.
with Michael was when he used to grab his, his penis and stuff like that.
I never saw that.
Yeah, you got to watch the videos. Like,
It was in the video.
he did it a few
It was on
times.
the
I thought he
outside
was
of his pants.
dancing.
It's part of his dance,
yeah.
And stuff like that, but not actually like grabbing his junk like.
Yeah, that was part of his
Hype
dance
this shit up.
move. He sort of gave himself a little cup.
No, I was never a fan.
Okay.
Well, nothing wrong with that. June 13th today.
I don't like music though. I hate music.
on this-
Go ahead. You have news? I'm sorry. He started telling the news thing.
Well, June 13th today, the Sanders sisters back in 1912.
Yes. Oh, what?
1912. They from Chicago, Illinois, but they had moved back down south and stuff. But these were the two sisters that were always getting into fight every day in school. And they tried to teach her one day, and the teacher just grabbed them up and they started jumping her. So, but they got expelled from school. This is back in 1912. This is way.
I thought you were talking because on this day, 38 years ago, 1986, two of my favorite childhood obsessions were born, Mary Kate and Ashley. I thought that was the sisters you were talking about. I got so excited.
Shout out to the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Olsen twins.
So 38 years ago, they were born on this day. And then 20 years later, we found out the real creeps when grown men started celebrating their 18th birthday. Yeah. They had that countdown. You know, they had that countdown.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's very sick.
Oh.
So did you guys know that like over 80% of the Everglades population of small critters have been now devoured by pythons? And python season hunting is open if you want to go down there and hunt pythons.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because you're getting it by the pound or foot or something now. It just this week it starts out, you know. So yeah, but still, the biggest snake that's a threat in the state of Florida is always going to be Senator Skeletor Rick Scott.
Skeletor.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, Senator Skeletor.
Watch out for Rick Scott, you guys. Senator Skeletor.
I'll get you, He-Man.
Yes.
I'll get you, He-Man. I mean, yeah, he is Senator Skeletor, right? Like
He's evil.
Skeletor.
He's evil.
I had a
supervillain.
conspiracy for the longest that like all like Florida representatives are actually like Disney animatronics. Like Disney is just like making them because they just move weird to me.
And they
I don't
all
think
look
they're
weird in
real.
jeans too.
Yeah.
They look like
It's-
supervillains.
I'm not sure they're real people.
They look weird in jeans.
jeans. That's
That
true.
mean?
They don't have like normal shaped bodies
Yeah.
whatsoever.
It's just like they're either too high waisted or
They're like wearing
Yeah.
mom pants,
yeah, they all
It would
wear
make
mom
sense.
pants.
boxy-ish, hiding some battery
It's like,
pack
instead of
there.
like having like a waistline, it's like it curves down or something. You're like, what's going on there? Like
They were
like,
drawn
find
in
something that fits.
Drawn in the studio.
It's like, what's more American than like jeans? And if our politicians don't fit in them, it's just a huge like analogy for life. So
Right.
okay,
Well, it's
got a
because
little
genetically their genes they come from snakes, so their
That's
genes
true.
come from snakes. They just pour them in there. Oh wow!
Everything.
Do we got any plugs?
there.
Who wants to plug? We've covered everything but plugs.
We've covered everything but plugs. Tonight, Alex and I are going to all women's open mic at Grindhouse. I did that a couple months ago when they had it, and it was fire. It's fun.
It's
Good
girls'
time.
night
I'm
only though,
excited.
so we're not going.
Well,
You can go. and
Boys'
watch.
night out, right, fellas?
yeah.
I'm just happy to be considered a lady.
There you go.
Anybody have any finishing thoughts? Any more news?
Yes.
Anybody? Felix,
Chris
you over
have
there
any
itching
thoughts?
away? What do you got? Our final statement of the day is
Okay,
coming
you-
from Felix the comic. Go ahead.
Well, not really too much. Y'all be safe out there.
All right, be safe.
Oh, I want to
Yeah,
say
I
June.
guess that's it.
Next week is my birthday, and it's also Juneteenth.
Happy
June 19th. I heard the best people are born in June. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, James.
Shout out to
Yeah, I know we're all June. That's why I said
That's
it.
Yes, Geminis, we the best.
Oh yeah, shout out to
Geminis.
Metro Inclusive Health too. Get yourselves checked out. It's
Yep,
June.
mental
It's
health.
Pride Month. They'll do free tests for you. Seriously, get yourselves looked at.
Stand up for news. Stand up for news. Stand up for news. Stand up now. Stand up now. Stand up.